This is a video to demonstrate the Titan 1M part from Titans of CNC using SolidWorks. So as you can see, we've got a three-step, three-page process drawings. Take us through the block extrusion with some fillets, the hole wizard command to do the tapped holes, and then the two pockets that we need, the inner and outer pocket, as well as the fillets on the edges. So I'm going to start with the first process page here and just kind of match their ISO view. So I'll choose a front view. I don't see any particular reason not to just center the rectangle, so I'll use a center rectangle here and set my dimensions up 4 by 1.9. I think the material on this is 6061 T6, so I might do that in a minute also. I'll go extrude this 0.75 like that, and then we're going to put on the R 1.0s there, fillets. I'll pick this edge and I'm going to grab this button here to speed up the operation. 0.01, hit enter again. Okay, let me save this file so that we're underway. Titan 1M, I'll put it in, just put it in my downloads for now. And use capitals whenever you save your files. That way it will add that to a drawing at some point here when we begin drawings. Okay, should get the name up here, and then I'll set the material. Kind of slow. I've got some other files open I should have closed. Okay, so let's set the material up to be 6061. Edit material. We're going to go to our aluminum alloys, 6061 T6. Apply, close. Okay, next step, we're going to move down here. This is just hole wizard. There are 7 1032. Those are tapped holes. That's a fine thread tap to 0.38 depth. So I'm going to hit this face first. I always choose the face first before I go to the hole wizard command. And then that's going to get me already into a nice 2D plan for my hole wizard. And I'm going to hit space bar, and I'm going to go to my normal 2 to get this view here. So I want to make sure I choose straight tap. This is ANSI inch. I've already kind of got things set up here. Tapped hole is fine. Could be bottoming tapped. That would be okay too. In condition is not through all. It's blind because we know there's a blind depth on this, 0.38. And if the links are depressed here, then when this value changes, the value above it will change. So your tapped depth being down here, the threaded depth, and the drill depth being here. So your tap depth will be less than the drill depth needed in order to actually tap and thread that hole. The other thing I want to make sure everything's turned off down here. We won't have a countersink. So 1032. Now, next big step is, of course, remember in a hole wizard command to go to our position tab. And right away it puts me into the point command. I'm already in it. So we should be able to make pretty quick work out of this, putting in some of these I'm just kind of get them close here, sort of line them up across from one another, and then I'll add a whole bunch of relations here. So just have to hang back while I do this. I'm going to set my 4 corners at least horizontal and vertical to one another. So I'm going to go ahead and these 2 points vertical, click off, these 2 horizontal, click off, these 2 vertical, and then these 2 horizontal, and then these 2 are horizontal, and that gets us pretty close. So the next thing I want to do is dimension them, and you could use your standard smart dimensions to dimension. For example, I could go from here to the point and set that up to be 0.150 as you see over here, but they used ordnance style dimensioning, which is a little bit cleaner when you have a lot of holes on a flat plate. So I'm going to delete that and use ordinate style. It's going to be in my smart dimension pull down here. And I have vertical and horizontal. So I'll do all the horizontal aligned dimensions first. I'm going to choose this edge as my base 0. And I'm going to just go along here and touch on each of these important features. And then we can come back and adjust their dimensions whenever we're ready. Like that. I don't need to do the 4 inches like they have. That's unnecessary because we had that in our previous sketch. I'm just worried about the hole locations here, and I'll hit check. You know that one was right. I'm going to come in and just kind of adjust each of these quickly. That was already 2. Oh, because I drew it aligned to the origin at one time. 85. And then we had 3.85 looks like. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my dimension tool. I'm going to keep myself here in this positions tab. Be careful I don't check out. If you did, you need to get back into the edit the whole wizard and go back to the positions tab. And I'm going to put down this 0 baseline and set that down, and then I'll come across here and touch each of these dimensions. Oops. Well, that was a mistake. I accidentally hit that other point twice. So let's see if I think I bumped out of my ordinate dimension. If that happens, this is a good lesson, because if you get bumped out of your ordinate, what you need to do is right click on any one of these and say add to ordinate. Right click, add to ordinate, and then you're back into that exact ordinate. Okay, so there we go. And we'll make adjustments now. This is 0.3 for this one. And this little guy is 0.15. And let's see, we got 1.216. And we had 1.75. And I think that is, oops, that's not right. What's that one? 1.216. Okay. There we go. Got them all positioned. All the points are now black. So we feel good about that. And we can go ahead and hit the check mark. And that finishes the command. Now, if by chance you check your sketches and you see that you have a negative in anything, then you need to get in there and fix it. But the difference with Hole Wizard is you can go into this sketch and work on it again right from here. This is your positioning sketch, the one you put all those dimensions on. And you can go back in there and dimension and square up any entities that need help, that are blue and need to be defined. Or you can go into the feature and edit the feature here and go back to the positions tab, and it takes you to that basically takes you back into that sketch. But beware, notice it put me into point mode again. It thinks I want more holes, and so if I click here now, I'm going to get more holes. So you need to hit escape to get out of that command, or go up and deselect it here. So anyway, that's how you can get yourself back into your Hole Wizard and make any corrections there. Okay, next step is the next page. So it's going to be, before we do, let's take a look at this hole, because notice you don't see anything that looks threaded, even though that is a threaded hole. You can put a, I'm going to make this full screen so I can see this. You can put in a cosmetic thread here by going into your tools, document properties, detailing, and you have to click this button right here, shaded cosmetic threads, and that will put in kind of a zebra stripe in there. It's not meant to be a real thread, but it's meant to give you the illusion that, yeah, that's a threaded hole. You did do it, but what SolidWorks is doing is saving some memory by not actually cutting the material into a thread, but just labeling it as such for your part. Okay, so anyway, that's cosmetic thread representation. It's very nice to have. It's a quick reference, then you see it there. All right, so let's go to these pockets. Basically, let me zoom in here because this is going to be a little bit of work to do otherwise to see it. Okay, so there's our lines. So it's going to be on this face here, new sketch again. I'm going to get normal once again, and I'm going to try to draw some lines. I see the 0.3, and that was what this line was on, so that we might be able to make some use out of that. And then I see these circles, and we make the assumption that they're concentric, so we will definitely make some use out of that. And the 188, this is kind kind of an obscure point here that's going to need some dimensioning. So there's a few little definitely works in here that you're going to have to spend some time on. I'm going to put in these two arcs. I'm going to put them in circles and just plan to trim them later. I like arcs also, but sometimes just trimming circles is the same amount of work anyway. So I'll just go around here and drop in the three that make up the crucial parts of this. The rest of this represented by like these 13 fillets, basically all these inside edges. So I'm going to leave those alone until later. And then we have the other one that kind of is going to sit down inside. I'm going to worry about that outer pocket later. So let's just go ahead and let's try to draw off of there. Come down here a little bit and just sort of trace around here. Kind of get this thing lined up here. There we go. That was nice. It wants to click straight across there. And that's good. I'm going to end the line there. I'll restart a new one. And connect here if I can. And come on, click. There you go. If you want, anytime you can grab your trimmer tool, use your power trim and drag right through there like you learned. Just take that one off for now, and then I'll come around here and down, about to there, about to there, about to there. Something like, whoops, didn't get that in line. Let's try one more time. Okay. That one didn't land tangent. You see the tangency there, but this one didn't get it. It just got coincident. So you're going to want to correct that. You want that to end up tangent. So make sure that you choose, if needed, the line and the arc, and add that tangency. Now that one can get trimmed. Drag that, and this one can get trimmed. And we've got our shape that's kind of headed in the right direction there. So I'm going to go, it looks like they used ordinate dimensioning again, so I'm going to go ahead with the ordinate style. Again, the same 0, baseline 0 up here. And that one's already defined, so that really doesn't leave us much. It gives us this one to define. That one's supposed to be 1.6. And then we will go back to ordinate, and we'll go the other way. So we go up here and grab that, and I'll hit this 0. That one's 0.3. We'll come back for in a few minutes. Looks like this is the other dimension. So this is 0.3. This is 3.7. Okay, so let's put in those radiuses and see if that helps. This is the 0.313. And we had 0.188 here, which is probably 1.875 3/16, but I'll put it in like they called it out. 188. You see only 2 decimal places there. If that's bothering you, just go ahead and go over here to your doc properties side here, dialog, and make it read as 3 if you really want to see it as 3. It's there. It's just rounding it off and not showing it to you. Now to get these lines maybe equal, we'll pick the 2 of them and say equal, and then we'll add a dimension. So I'm going to pick this line, and then I'm going to come over here and select that line and just drop that 45 right there. Oh, I see here. So this guy and this guy aren't lined up, so we'll just make these 2 collinear. That should fix that. And these 2 just need to be set equal, because we did dimension one of them. There we go. So there's our inner pocket. Might as well cut that right now while we're this far, and then we will come back and do fillets at the end for those inner edges. So we'll cut this. I gotta go over here to see how far. 0.5, right? 0.5. I usually do this as one feature, but and then we're gonna come back to that face again. Start another sketch so we can do that pocket that kind of runs off the part there. And that's just going to look like this, I think. You know, it's going to come up to about here. It gets an arc. There's our tangent arc tool to create that. It goes like to there and then to there. We got 2 tangencies. That's good. We want to get this lined up with this vertically. So I'm going to make sure I hit escape a couple times. Pick this one. my origin with the control key selected, hold vertical, and it didn't seem to grab it. My mouse click is vertical. There we go. And then this line and this line, they're parallel. And then this line and this line, they're parallel. And that is going to help a lot. Let's see what we need. We need to identify this 165. He's a big deal right now. So I'm going to go from this line to that point to hit point 165. Okay, guys. And then we need this radius here, point 195. Nope, is that right? Yeah, 195. And that's actually part of the fillet size that is sprinkled all over this part. So we'll go ahead and cut this now down to that same 1/2 inch depth. And we're going to come around and put in all the fillets. I'm going to save this real quick. I hope real quick. Things haven't been fast with saving. So the last thing we've got left while that saves is, it looks like, I think it's just these 195 fillets that are all over the place. Let's double check. Make sure there's not anything else besides 195. Oh, that's true. There are the little tiny ones that you see if you look closely. There's some small ones around the edges here too, where they did fill it. And that goes back to the original page here, this 0.010, that they definitely have. If you look at the model here, you can see that they put that fillet in a few more places, that 0.010. But let's worry first about this 195 now that it's saved. Fillet. Put that size in right away to get that ready. And I'm going to see if so when that comes up, does it help me? Yeah, it did help. Oops. I'm going to try to turn that off, try it on again. If I hit that, that's going to be a big deal. That saved me a lot of selections there. The only two I think I see left would be this one and this one here, right? Just kind of looking around it, yeah. Okay, so that's that one. And then we got the last guy there, which was that 0.010. We have a few of those to add in yet. And we'll zoom in here and I'll show you what will happen. Because I have this button here called Tangent Propagation turned on, right? That's going to race around anywhere it can find that it would be able to propagate about. And so like there, and then right, I think they kind of have one down here. If you look close at that part, you'll see that they have one down here. I don't know how they would ever machine that one. It'd be tricky, but I think that, oh, also the bottom. No, they didn't do the bottom of the pocket, it looks like, so that's good. But they did get, if you notice, I thought somewhere in there I saw that they did get this bottom edge in here. Maybe I'm wrong. I think so. So I'm going to hit the check. I'll check that out later. Maybe there's another view here. Let's see here. Yeah, right there you can see that. That would actually be that edge then. So maybe that's the edge that gets it. Well, let's go back here. Edit this feature. And we'll take edge 3 and get rid of edge 3. And we'll put this one on instead. That seems to be the one that's in there. That's the one that I don't know how they would possibly do because of the way it runs into this corner. So, but that's kind of what it looks like in their model. So, not exactly how they end up machining, maybe, but there's our part. Save it. I hope this helps with the modeling of the Titan -1M. Double check my work. Make sure I don't have any negative sketches in there, and I hope yours turns out to be just like this. Good luck.